Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Bigan and I'm the writer, director, producer of my current short film titled The Ghost of You. So in this video, we will be talking about how I came up with the story, how I directed during the production, and also how I edited the film. So let's go! Okay, so while I was not really in the mood to write or direct anything. My sister wanted to star in a short film. She wanted to make a film with me before she go home. So I told her, okay, let me think for a few days of a story and then we'll try and do something. And then I came up with this story because when I was a kid, I used to wonder how can I communicate with one of my dead relatives, especially one that I didn't really meet, which is my grandfather. And then I kept on wondering how that would have happened. And then I watched, and then I remembered we watched this movie titled Talk to Me, and I kind of found that film really relatable. And then that film came back to my head while I was thinking of the idea for this film. And then I told my sister that this film would be about grief. That's the driving force of the story. So I wrote the film in a I didn't really wrote the film in a sequential manner. We started with meeting the main character, and then meeting her friend, how she met with her friend, and then how she met my character in the story. That's the sequence of events. After doing that, I wrote the dialogues. At first I didn't really want to use a lot of dialogues in this film, but as I wrote the film, I realized that is the only way to write a story. So I came up with this film, and then I told my sister about it. She was glad about it, and I told her the subject matter of the story was a little deeper than it should be. And then I told her that the film isn't what I wanted to direct with her, but she still accepted the role. She said she's glad to be doing the film. So I said, okay, let's do it. And then the setting. This story is set supposedly in the living room. So you can already sense that, I could already sense that it wouldn't work though. So, but we tried. We took some pictures in the living room with that cinematography in mind, but it didn't really work. The living room is too bright. The candle wouldn't really be as a prominent thing to use as lighting. So we tried finding another place in this house, and this is where we landed, in this bedroom. So I told my sister, okay, we'll be shooting your scenes in this room, and then we'll try first. So we took some photographs with some flashlights, but it came with the wrong idea. That was a wrong idea. So we tried taking another thing, and I couldn't really use a real candle because I was worried that it might burn the entire place down. So I just came up. I just looked around the house and saw this. This is our lighting setup during the entire sequence that we shot on this room. And thank God it worked, thank God. Because it was, safe to say, a really rewarding time. Now, let's talk about during the shoot. For this shoot, we tried different ways to make this work as a lighting setup, because I realized a candle doesn't have a stable flame. A flame isn't stable at all. It moves, and you could actually see that when I took a record of the film. I took some pictures of candle. The flame is constantly moving. So I told my sister to just tap this in this like that, so that it would work. And then it did. Wonderful. Think I just sighed to myself, oh my god, thank god it worked. And then after doing that, I tried thinking of other ways to use lighting as a mood setter. And then it rained. We had to stop for a few seconds because the rain was getting heavier by the hours. So after the rain stopped, I took my scene first. I shot my scene first, with her reading her lines and me responding to the lines that she has, while with the lines of the script in my head. So I was kind of improvising at the same time, adding some bits and flows, so that I wouldn't be lost. And then after shooting my scene, I realized that the frame, I didn't really realize it, but I was not tapping this thing. I was not doing that at all. So it kind of bothered me. And then, but I didn't really mind it. I didn't really want to waste my sister's time again trying to help me by reading her dialogues. So we shot her scene next. Her scenes are the ones that had a lot of movement in camera. That was fine. So we did a lot of framing in order we did for the framing. We did a lot of focus pulling, and I just couldn't get the lighting right at first. So I fixed it. I tried really using a lot of ways to make it look more natural as a candle. And then we shot her scene. Before we shot her scene though, he had a lot of questions about the brother's death. So I was not a little surprised by that. She just told me how the brother died. I told her, since this film is about suicide, her brother committed suicide. And she was like, but how? So I told her a canon. I think we discussed this in one of the behind the scenes. I'll just put it before we proceed to another set. So after doing the shots, we did some extra shots of her holding the pencil. After that, it was time for her friend to go home. It was around, I think, 5 or 4:30. So we shot their scenes as the last scene that we'll be taking, so that we wouldn't be able to reshoot though. After shooting the scenes, here comes. Okay, so for the editing part, this is where I had a lot of trouble because the film didn't really look excellent. So I had to try manipulating the shots, the sequences using color grading. And then after doing that, I added some background noise. I removed the background noise of the original videos at first, and then I added some sound effects. And then after that, the scene that I had to fix the most is my sequence, because it didn't really look right. As I've mentioned, I was not flickering the lights, so it didn't really have that type of lighting setup. And then the next problem is the shot didn't really look good, so I just zoomed in the camera and then tilted it a little to make it look like a Dutch angle, and then I put a layer over it of a blur. I forgot the name of the blur, I think, but it worked wonders. It worked fine. It also separated me and my sister more, and it was kind of really great to shoot the film like that. It was a lot of fun. I think I learned a lot about cinematography and color grading in this, and also how fun it is to do to add foley sound effects onto the video file. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience, and I've been really grateful to have this kind of to have been doing this process. And that's it. Thank you for watching.